This is the instructional guide for the game Zombies. It is meant for the parents, the teachers or the trainers on how to implement the game to get the most benefit for the students. So first of all, the game is an own creation, so to speak. It is an existing games adapted to a chessboard. The nature of the game is a simple dominance game, therefore the learning curve is a bit moderate. We cannot get too much out of the game, but we still have some crucial points that we can extract from it. And the main benefit of the game is actually the motivation, since the students love to spread all over the board and to trick their opponents in getting their sides to join your army. The objective of the game is that we want our students to achieve a level of calculation where they just on their own terms decide and think about what the opponents can do in their respective position, and depending on the options or the threats of the opponents, change your own course of action. So just calculating 1 or 2 moves ahead. The time frame is about 8 minutes per game, and I suggest you to play 2 games per round, so each of the opponents can start once. This is, for example, a position, how it looks like in my courses. So we have our counters that we can flip from red to blue. As you can see, it's pretty easy for the game to be done. We have a symmetrical symmetrical wall here based on pawns. You can also use and change the rules as you like, because it's an own development, and you can start not only in the corners but on the opposite sides. The wall doesn't have to be symmetrical. It's up to you to decide. As for myself, I suggest just to get the benefits that I will explain soon, and then we can also skip the game, because it does motivate the students quite a lot, and you can play the game further, but the main benefits, that's they are done, we can continue with more complicated games to get the most cognitive advancement. This is another game. There we have just another wall. The students decided themselves that they want to play with this one, and just let one students of the course, I had 10 to 12, and in each round one student could decide which wall he wants to take. Then they are even more motivated to play, because they have a say in it. And this is an example of a finished game where Blue used a bad strategy. He just stayed in the corner and was afraid to move out, but in the end he will be just trapped and loses the game. So this is also one of the benefits that we want to get our students to get past, and this is the fear of just moving out and confronting, because playing it safe is actually the worst way to play the game. These are the rules, so you can stop the video and read them if you like to, and I'll continue with the insights. So again, our core goal is for the students to think. Therefore, the less tips we give for them, the better for the development. It doesn't matter how well they play the game, it's more matter how much of the progress they will do by themselves. And the ideal situation is that they will play the game, they will obviously make mistakes, but they will spot their mistakes, learn from the mistakes, and adapt the strategy to a higher level. So for example, this bunkering strategy, I'll show you maybe on the board how it looks like. So many of my younger students played it in the start of the game. They played it exactly like this. So red is a decent player, whereas blue just played moves like this. and then the hoarding strategy will always lose the game because you cannot control any of the space that you may have. It seems safe. For some students, it's even intuitively. Therefore, if they still struggle of not understanding the concept of the game, then we should try and explain it to them. But otherwise, it's better for us to make them do their mistakes against other students, and ideally they stop it and, well, learn by themselves. And the other goal is that for the game to be able to play correctly, you obviously need to be actively searching for the options of your opponent before you just, come in a bad spot. The typical pitfalls for the students is, first of all, this hoarding strategy that I explained. Our idea is if it's possible, then the students should come to the conclusion themselves that it's a bad idea. But for example, in my courses with 12 students, I still had 2 or 3 that used the strategy. Then it's better to explain it to them instead of letting them struggle onwards against their opponents. But ideally, they overcome this issue by themselves. And the second option, that's a bit harder, it's about the danger. So how the game should be played and how especially it should not be played. And this is about this minefields. Minefields is a concept from chess. It's not about explaining the terms, how it's called, but it's more about the thinking, what is meant by it. And these minefields is exactly what I did in the 2 tactical exercises, number 1 and number 3. So here it is not smart to play to b7, although it seemingly does give you more space because the opponent can abuse it, and therefore the right way is to go around it, and especially not to use the square b7. And this is the start of the position that I showed you in the picture. I can show it again. So here it's pretty equal, but one of the players got the concept of this trap, whereas the other did not and just played the moves. And the result of this game was seen in this position. So red just completely obliterated the blue player. So again, instead of explaining how to, the less we explain, the better for the students. It's always so. Now, the winning strategy. First of all, you need to be aggressively gaining space. That's the exact opposite of the hoarding strategy. Also, this is already the advanced options. I did play the game for maybe 2.5 hours in my courses. It was a weekly course, so it was pretty intense, and I wanted to get the most benefit out of the games. So you might play the game more, and for your students there will be more immediate other benefits. But again, when I played it for about 2.5 hours, the very best students, so maybe 2 out of 12, they did use the jump option. And I did not explain or tell them that it's the best one, because again, this is something that I want the students to find on their own. If they want to copy it from other students, it's also fine, but they shouldn't just listen to me, but think about the option themselves. So this is actually the best move, because at the start of the game you will gather much more space, and gathering space is the key to winning the game. Since my students, only few of the students used it regularly, and well, that means that maybe the game can even be played on a higher level and with still interesting outcomes. But in my experience, without everybody reaching this level of understanding, then jumping is actually the better option out of the two. If they're not past this level, then the game, from my point of view, for the strategical benefits, is already finished once they actively try to spot the next move of your opponents. So again, my logic is not to explain them how to be perfect in the game or how to beat your opponents or any other players, but it's more about what is the key point that I want to teach the students with this game. And my key point is not about the strategy of jumping, but it's more about this mind feels concept, that you shouldn't always pick the most obvious point, but instead think and reflect. If you want to continue playing this game for any reason, because simply it might be also fun and it still has a benefit anyway, then you can change the rules. For example, use asymmetrical wall setups. You can invent new rules. You can allow jumping over other zombies. So there are plenty possibilities with other goals that you might have for the children. But at the same time, my essentials are finished with this slide. And on a final note, the motivation for the game is really, really high because the students love just to spread all over the board. They like the terms barfing and converting your opponents. Therefore, I see it just as a really great game, and just with the fact that because it's a simple domination game, it doesn't have the best learning curve. At the same time, it doesn't mean it's a bad game or that is a downside. It just depends on the perspective, and there you have all my ideas and thoughts about this game.